hear my
I
microphone?
can.
Like you can hear it as a microphone?
I think so.
Are you sure?
Can you hear mine? Does it sound like I'm on
No.
one? Hmm? Your pause.
No. No, yours just sounds normal. But like mine, you have to be really close to it for it to work.
Can you hear mine?
No, it just sounds like I just tested it, and I tested it on like just a regular video, and it it sounded like a microphone. But I don't know, because like last time with the microphone, you couldn't hear it as a microphone. Like, you know, you can tell if it's a microphone.
I think it is, but I'm not sure. You're outside, and so I'm not really sure.
Okay, but I'm outside, so you should be able to hear my microphone better, is what I'm saying.
I think, like I said, I think so. I think it's working. It's not like super loud or anything, but.
Okay, then it's not working, is what I'm telling you. It's not working then.
Okay.
Okay, anyways. Honestly, I kind of forgot what we were talking about. What were we talking about?
So talk away from it and then talk into it.
Hello.
I can actually hear you better now.
And now?
Do it again. And say something.
Hello.
About the same.
Hello.
About the same. About the same.
It is the same, is what I'm telling you. It's not working.
Okay, it's not working. Hello, Brenda.
Hello. What are we talking about today?
We are talking about helping or being coachable and what that means. Yeah, because remember a friend of mine had sent that picture. Excuse me. Of the, darn it, too many things going on. There was a friend of mine sent me a picture of a post that was done, and it really brought up the conversation because it's of a man that's bent down, or he's kneeling down with his young son, and he's holding onto a shirt, and it says, "Uncoachable kids become unemployable adults. Let your kids get used to someone being tough on them. That's life." And when she first sent that to me, I kind of had a knee-jerk reaction to, is that too harsh?
Yeah.
And so I kind of reached out and was like, so what do you think? And asked you too, Allie, what that resonated for you. And I think the reason why that my first reaction was that was harsh is just because it kind of flashed back to like my generation or before. Like we got spanked with belts. Our parents had paddles and they had belts, and even schools at that time had paddles that we'd have to go down to the principal's office, and our generation before us. And so that was my knee-jerk reaction, was like, I don't want to go back there. Absolutely. We're in a kind of a spot right now where maybe my generation or the generation after me are kind of saying, we don't want to be that harsh, so we're going to give our kids everything. So we're teaching our kids nothing. We're teaching our kids not how to not do things on their own. And so there has to be that fine line, And so then, after we talked about it a little bit, I was like, okay, I took it to the extreme. But this is right. We have to teach our kids how to do things on their own. Us doing everything for our kids is not benefiting them. It's not making them be responsible for themselves. It's not making them go after what they want and even know what they want, I think.
I think a lot of it, kids need to have independence, and like we talked about that, and they need to be asked the hard questions because they are still trying to figure out like how the world works. And so coaching, a lot of times I get like those dumb questions, you know what I mean? And at first, I wasn't quite sure how to respond to it, you know what I mean? Because sometimes I'm like, really, you can figure it out for yourself, or like, were you not just listening? You know what I mean? Like, we just said this, and you're asking me again, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I started changing how I react to it, because like sometimes there's a frustration, but it, you know, sometimes the game brings the frustration, so then, you know, it kind of all like comes together. But especially with my younger girls, I'm like, okay, well, look, I'm like, if they ask me, are we running this defense? Okay, well, why don't you look right now? What are they set up in? You know, like, use your own mind. Like, let me help you figure out what they're in, okay? So, like, making them not just, like, get the answer, but they have to work for the answer. And, like, I'll help them get the answer, but, oh, my gosh, this fly is attacking me. I will help them get the answer, but they have to, you know, they have to find it. They're the ones that have to find it. And when you sent me that, I remember, because you were like, is this too aggressive? Oh my gosh, I feel like this is too much. And I'm like, no, because everything that you learn in sports can be used in life. Being able to listen, being able to apply, being able to handle intense situations, or like, I think a lot in sports, like, a lot of times things don't happen the way that you want them to or you expect them to. Like, never. Like, literally never does that happen. And so I think sports is super incredibly important, because a lot of times in life and sports, you're hoping things are going to go one way, but they go a completely different way. And so with sports, you're able to, like, react on the spot, and you kind of learn how to apply that in life. And I think that's really, like, it's amazing things and all amazing qualities that you can learn within sports. And I think that a lot of coachability is like a boss. That's kind of like what I told you when you were showing me. It's like, you have a boss and they're telling you to do something one way, you have to be able to listen and do it. And they might be giving you a long list of things that you need to be doing. You need to be able to listen and do it. And if you can't do it in sports, you sure as hell can't do it in a job. You know what I mean? Or you're not going to be able to do it to the best of your abilities, at least.
Well, you know, and teaching them that, you know, if they fail or make a mistake, to get right back up and do it again, you know, to keep trying. So in jobs, you know, we don't always know what we're doing when we first start. You know, we have to learn the job. So you can't just go into a job or a sport, especially if you're doing something new, and expect to just jump in and do it right away, because you have to learn. Every job is different. Every sport is different, and every level is different. You know, you're more advanced, there's more things to do. And so that coachability comes in, where you can ask questions, where you're open to suggestion, you're open to criticism, you're open to all the things that, if you listen and if you strive to do what you're being asked to do or being taught to do, it's going to come out so much more amazing, because you're all of a sudden you're going to be like, okay, I get it. I can learn better because I'm listening to direction.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of times, like, people use military too. They say, like, military is really good for teaching things in life, and I mean, I agree. Like, you have to be able to follow orders, you have to be able to, you know, like, take commands, and everything's very specific, and I think that's really great. And so a lot of times, people who are involved in the military, who are also involved in sports, they come back to it, and it's like these things that you learn in life. And I mean, it's just truly the little things that you do throughout your life are always going to apply to whatever you end up doing after you're done with whatever kind of military that you might be doing, or whatever kind of sports that you might be doing. But it just is going to overall help you be able to listen and learn better, quicker, faster, more efficiently, and also not take things to heart. I've learned that a lot too. Is like, lot of times when you have a coach or a superior that's telling you, oh, you need to do this, or that sounds mean, and like, you're like, oh my gosh, I did so many things wrong, and you take it like I'm terrible, I suck, I can't do anything. But in reality, that's not what it is. It's, and then you learn eventually, like, I was terrible at that. I was terrible at listening and applying because I thought I was terrible. I was like, oh, this is a constructive criticism. This is just someone bashing me, literally.
Right. So you're taking it as someone's judging you instead of taking it as a learning opportunity.
Yeah, so if you take it, once you learn how to apply it and be like, okay, they're not bashing on me, they're actually just trying to help me, and they're like, especially because, like, I wouldn't tell you something if you're not doing it, and I wouldn't tell you something if it wasn't going to help you get better. And so once you can actually say, okay, coach, and ask, what can I do better, like, that's going to stay with you for the rest of your life.
Well, yeah. And it's even, I was thinking about it, and what do we do as parents, as coaches to, we want them to be coachable. We want them to take direction. But then what? What's our role then? But our role is then to be cheerleaders, to be in their corner and say, hey, you did that great. I gave you direction. You did it. Kudos to you. Like, way to go. Keep pushing, keep going. And not just be that's that expectation. But I think we still have to be cheerleaders. We still have to be encouraging them in a way that's constructive, that's making them feel good about themselves in a way that they want to keep pushing forward.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Brenda, I kind of like include you with this conversation. Do you have any questions for us, or like any kind of experiences with, because I know like you were in the Air Force, I believe. I don't know if that's wrong or not, but you were in some kind of armed force, and I know you have lots of experience, especially with like DMLA and everything. I'd love to hear what you have to say, or any questions or things that you want to share with us as well. So, while we wait for her, we can continue. No, I mean, coachability is incredible. I think coachability is honestly probably the biggest thing that you can do to be a player.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't listen, then you are. No, we can't hear you. You'll have to put it in the chat.
You'll have to type it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just it says comment. You can comment on there, and then we can see it, and then we can respond to you. I mean, like, yes, just like you're doing right now. Just anything that you'd like to say. That's your participation. I wish I would have learned how to be coachable earlier, and I feel like I was coachable for the most part. Yes, okay, I did get that right. She was in the Air Force. I feel like I was good at listening at what I needed to do, but if it was like telling me I did something wrong or I could improve in one way, that's when I kind of took it like I suck. And I think that's probably the hardest thing that most athletes need to learn earlier too. If you can teach that, like, we were working with Paisley, if you can teach Paisley that now, then, I mean, because she's already, starting learning sports and playing sports and being involved and stuff like that. And if she can do that now, her life is going to be a lot easier throughout her sporting career, because we know that she's going to be bouncing off the walls with sports.
Well, and I think back when, when you guys were kids, especially, I think more you than Quentin, because he was more based on golf, but, you would get so internally upset when somebody would talk to you about improving or what you could do to improve, and you would take it, like you just said, you would take it to heart, and like it was a judgment against you. And teaching our kids that it's not, it's just, you know, and I know we talked to you a lot about this, about, you know, when your coach is talking to you, specifically when you're in sports, when your coach is talking to you, you listen. You know, you make eye contact, your body language means everything. um, you make sure that you are paying attention to what they're saying, because once you learn to do that, once you learn to pay attention and not have a wall up because you think that they're being aggressive towards you and they're just teaching you, they're just giving you a learning moment, then all of a sudden you can be like, oh, I get it. Maybe I can go do that. And maybe what they said is true and I can go do that and it's going to be better.
Yeah.
But it also, I mean, once you learn that, you learn it for life. You know, I don't know how many bosses that I've had that, yeah, it's been sometimes I've had really hard bosses, and I've had to put up that wall because, but if I would have just taken a step back and been like, hey, I really want to be the best that I can be at this job. And maybe if I just would have talked a little more and said, hey, what do you really want from me? Or this, you're putting too much on me, and where can I succeed and be the best that I can be? So it's asking those questions too. That's coachable as well. So, I mean, you learn that, especially in college, you know, what can I do better so that I can play? What can I do better when I have, after I have, you know, shoulder surgery, so that, so that I can play again, so that I don't have to sit the bench the whole time. What can I do?
Yeah, I mean, I really learned it in high school is when I learned how to listen. In college, I think I applied it more in asking, what can I do better? What can I do better? Like constantly, because I wasn't getting the playing time. In high school, I was getting the playing time. But I think a lot of what it comes down to, especially for kids, if they take it to heart, you know, they take any kind of criticism to heart, which like I did, you know, like we were just saying, I did. I think it comes down to a lack of confidence.
How you're sitting outside.
I have to sit outside because Winter's in there screaming and he's yelling. And so I was like, okay, either you have to be quiet or I need the microphone. And obviously the microphone's not working and it's 5 o'clock, so everybody's outside. Oh my gosh, it's freaking crazy. Hi, thank you for joining. Anyways, but I think when it comes down to like if your kid or you or whoever it is, like even a coach, if you can't listen and you can't, or like you take everything to heart, I think it comes down to confidence. I had zero, zilch, nothing, no confidence in myself in high school. And once I finally learned to have this confidence within myself, that's when I started listening. That's when I started applying. That's when, you know, that's when everything started to move forward, is because I had confidence in myself. And I mean, honestly, the 4 C's, they all like went into it. I was confident, I was committed, I was up to any kind of challenge. And what's the last one? What's the last one? Which one did I not say? Oh, and I was in control. I was in control because I knew what I wanted and I was in control of my thoughts, emotions, and in my actions. And, you know, I accepted all of them. And for a long time, I didn't accept any of that. And so I think the four C's will help you create the confidence within yourself. And then once you have that confidence, then it's okay because you know that it's not me. I just need to learn how to grow. You know, I'm not the problem. I just need to keep growing because you can never stop growing. You could be 100 years old and you could still be learning and growing.
You said I'm not the problem, but in reality, you are creating the problem when you're not coachable and you're not doing those things.
No, I mean, like, because when you don't accept credit, like the criticism, whatever, when you the constructive criticism, when you don't accept that, you are the problem at that point. But when you do accept it, or sorry, okay, I'm trying to think how was I going to word this? You take everything to heart. Okay, when you take everything to heart, you think I am the problem. Physically, I am the problem. My personality, who I am as a person, my physical being, I am the problem. But when you have the confidence, you know it's not you. It's not me as a person. It's not my personality. It's not anything like that. I just have to grow. You know what I mean? Like, it's learning that me as a whole is not the problem. I just need to keep growing. I have more to learn. I have more to grow. That's kind of what I was saying with that. Yes, when you don't accept that you are creating the problem. I get what you're saying, but I was going a different route.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, of course we all create our own problems in our own minds, but yeah, I mean, once we start to understand and want to grow and realize that, you know, when I set my goals, when I get committed, when I accept that challenge, when I take on a job and I want to be the best that I can possibly be, you know, even in my own family, you know, I really want to show up for my family. I really want to show up for my friends. And what does that look like? You know, and you have to be able to have confidence. You have to have a will within yourself to love who you are first so you can love everybody around you. And I guess that's going into a different topic, but at the same time, it opens you up to be able to learn. And it opens you up to being able to accept what others have to say and take it or leave it. You know, you don't have to take, if your coach says something and you're like, you're completely out of your mind and there's no way I can do it, maybe ask that question of, why do you think I can do that? Or maybe I don't agree with you. And that's okay, but ask, that's the question.
Yeah, the questions is what's going to help you. If you don't understand what's going on, then ask why. Okay, you're telling me I need to do this. I don't know why. I don't get why. How is that going to benefit me?
You know? How is it going to benefit the team? I don't get it.
I don't get it. And that's okay, because especially like as you're growing up, until you're in high school, I mean, even throughout college, you're still learning the game. You're still learning the best ways to go about everything. And so you're not going to have it just like that. You know what I mean? You don't know everything.
Yeah.
I've been playing basketball for 20 years, 18 years, and I still don't know every little piece of the game. I'm still learning, and I'm a coach. I'm literally a coach, and I'm still learning. But that's the glory of playing sports, and that's the glory of like being passionate and putting your all into thing, is that you're always going to learn. And I mean, that's just life.
Well, I think we all can agree that, you know, to be very successful and to be the best that you can be in life is to be open to learn. And, you know, being handed everything in our lives, if we're just given it all, you know, if I go to practice and I know that if I don't like what the coach has to say, my parents are going to back me up and they're going to get on the coach, and so I won't have to do it anymore. How is that benefiting them? You know, how are you teaching them to go after the hard things when the parents are doing it for them? You know, how are we teaching our kids to, when they fall, to get back up and do it again and to keep going after it instead of just quitting? We don't ever want to quit. You know, we make our goals, we make our challenges for ourselves, and they get hard. And you may stop for a second, but never give up. And I think that's what we have to teach our kids. Just don't give up. You can take a break because it gets hard and you get tired. That's okay. But get right back on it and try it again. And maybe it's going to be easier the next time because your mind's already in that, oh, I know how to do it. I was tired. Now I can.
Yeah. No, exactly. I mean, if you don't fail, how are you going to grow? How are you going to keep getting better? I mean, we've talked about that a million times over. Like, science wouldn't be a thing. We wouldn't be here with technology or anything if there wasn't trial and error of fails. You have to fail, and you have to let your kids fail. So many people just don't want their kids to fail. And it's like, I don't understand. I want them to fail. Like, we played in a tournament last weekend. we played against this team that we have lost to time and time and time again. And this weekend, when they played this team, they played the best they've ever played against this team. We tried new things, we tried different things, and it worked. We didn't win, though. I mean, I only had a bunch of 7, so my girls got exhausted to play 40 minutes. But the fact of I wasn't mad at them. I was so incredibly proud of them because they tried and they were so close. Like if I probably would have had my full bench, my typical bench, we would have won that game. Mm-hmm. Absolutely would have won the game because of our trial and error. I had the trial and error. I've learned I had to coach the team differently. I had to put in different things for this team so we could beat them. And that is like the best thing about it. And we see it a lot in club is that players quit or parents take their kids out of it because they're not getting the playing time. Well, they're not getting the playing time because they keep, they're not there yet. They're not there yet. They have to keep trialing and erroring. They need to keep failing so that they can get better. But then they choose to just take them out. And I'm like, okay, well, they're not going to get that. They're not going to get the skills. You're taking away everything that they're learning. It takes time, though. You have to fail a million times over before you get it.
And that's it. We gotta let our kids fail. We've got to let our kids, see what it's like to fail and succeed, and then to cheer them on. And I think it's more rewarding to see them fail and see them get back up and see them get excited and achieve something that's been really hard for them. It's even more rewarding as a parent to see your child do that than to just keep helping them to quit, because it's almost a guilty feeling within yourself saying, I've just kind of enabled them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and then this is what Brenda said. She said that's when you get the parents calling in for their 20 to 40-year-old kids to take care of bills or insurance or whatever because mom and dad keep jumping to the rescue. I think that's exactly it, because it's going to go for the rest of their lives. The kids are just going to expect. Mom and dad are always going to be here for me. They're always going to take care of me. And I think it's hard because, thinking about when we moved to Arizona, when Winter and I moved to Arizona, it was really hard, like really hard.
And we pretty much said, see ya.
Yeah. Like it was you chose to make this decision to make the move. You have to be able to deal with it. You have to be able to make it work. And either you're going to make it work or you're not going to make it work. But at the same time, we always knew that we had backbones. And it wasn't, and that's not saying like you guys would come bail us out and if we didn't have rent, you guys would pay our rent. It wasn't like that.
We told you guys, we always taught you to, go after, exhaust all the options first. If you've exhausted all the options, and that's our teaching moment as parents, and I think we'll do that for the rest of your life, is that because we are older than you, so we have a little more experience. And so our biggest thing was you keep trying until you can't. And like if absolutely nothing works, yes, absolutely, we will help you out 100%. And we always have. But our biggest thing is we want you to try to do it on your own first.
Yeah.
See if you can succeed. And I think that you guys have really done a great job, and you have had some really hard times. You have had to, eat top ramen for a week or whatever because you didn't have the money. But if we would have just said, oh, here's more money for you to, deal with it, you guys would have never had those hard times to appreciate the good times that are coming.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, Winter and I talk about that a lot, actually. It's like, there's always going to be hard times. And we have, we've been kind of a roller coaster since we've gotten here, done really well, then kind of, struggled for a while, done really well, struggled. And I think that's part of life. But what I've always told him is like, we can't be too worried, because I'm still working on his mental state and his positivity and everything. He says I'm an optimistic and he's a realist, and I was like, I don't really think that's how it
It's
is. But
exactly what your dad tells me too.
I'm like, I was like, I think I'm just know we're not gonna fail. Like I think I'm the realist, if anything. I think
Well,
what is that?
because you know, in all reality, no matter what, you're going to be safe and you're going to always have the money and always going to be there.
That's what I always tell, it's like, if we start failing or we start going downhill, and like, every time we've struggled, have we ever been evicted? We've almost been evicted. Have we ever not been able to get to work? No. Like, when the times got super tough, have we ever had the most drastic thing happen to us? No. Yeah, we've been very, very close to very drastic things happening to us, but it's never happened before because we have a support system.
Well, and you don't give up.
And yeah, exactly. We have the support system to help us keep going, because how many times have we wanted to give up, wanted to just, not know what to do, and we've come and said, we've done everything. What do we do? Asking for help. Okay? And that doesn't mean every single time asking for money or asking for you to fix the problem, but help me think of more ways to go about this. Help, just having that, and then also having the mindset of, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We're not there, and a lot of times it's like, oh, we're so close. I can feel it. We're so close. We're so close. And I think that's just life, though, and that it's always going to be like, it's always going to be up, it's always going to be down. Whether you're playing sports, whether you're just living, it doesn't matter what you're doing. There's always going to be ups and there's always going to be down. But if you choose to be completely negative about everything and just, don't, never think it's ever going to work out, it's not going to work out.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but if you have even a slightest bit of hope, something will come your way. An opportunity will come.
And probably 10 times out of 10, something happens. Sometimes it's just a matter of waiting another day, or waiting another minute to take a breath and just say, okay, what next? Where's my other path? What else do I need to be doing?
Well,
and if you just give up, huh?
Go ahead.
I was just saying, if you just give up and say, forget it, I can't do it, I'm done, then yeah, you are going to get evicted. If you hide away from your problems because it's too hard, then your problems are going to find you and they're going to take over. But if you kind of go about it as far as, okay, here's a problem for the second, but there's a solution. There's always a solution to the problem. So if you choose to go find that solution, then you're going to succeed every time. If you choose to ignore the problem and to just let it take over, then yeah, you're going to fail and you're going to wallow in it. It's going to be hard.
Life leads you in the directions that you need to be going. Something bad might have to happen before something good can happen. And you don't always know which way the path is going to take you. But you have to have some kind of hope, because if you don't have hope, then you have nothing.
And I think that's what we need to teach our kids, is that there's going to be hard times, and that's okay. What do you want to achieve out of that hard time? What's your ultimate goal here? So especially growing up, and learning all these things, because we don't know as teenagers, we don't know as young kids, like, how to do a lot of things. So we're learning. If we don't teach our kids how to learn and to take on a problem with excitement, and saying, okay, here it goes, mom and dad, what do I do? Here's my problem. Help me to figure it out, and not do it for them, but to honestly help them figure it out. Like, what can I do to make this better?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's it. That's all I got.
that's, I mean, we, moral of the story is, we need to teach our kids to go after what they believe in, to learn from others and be okay with it.
Be okay
and
with fail.
and be able to fail and get right back up and do it again until you don't fail anymore, and then go find something else to fail at. It's kind of fun to think, okay, what can I fail at today so that I can conquer that and go on to the next. Think how
Yeah. I
amazing
mean,
life would be.
yeah, it's a long list of things that you want to do and you're not going to get it the first time. 99% of the time, you're not going to get it the first
No.
time. You got to keep trial and erroring. Like I said with this team, I've lost to this team at least 6 times, and it is so irritating. Every single time I want to beat this team more than anything because I know that my team can, but we have to keep failing. We have to keep failing and we have to keep trying so that we can
Think how much they think what they did with this team that they've never been able to do before. And if you would have had your full team, you probably would have pulled it out.
Absolutely. No, I know for a fact we would have pulled it out because we switched it up completely. It completely switched it up, brand new things, and it was great. And I mean, these girls hadn't even practiced it. Basically, I'll short little what we did basically. So this team, they're a solid team all around. I don't think that they're necessarily better than my team. I think that my team absolutely can beat them. But we switched the kind of defenses that we had been playing. We switched from so now this last game we played a 1-2-2 zone full court, but then we transitioned into the half court into a 2-3 zone, and it made all of the difference. And I was actually talking with one of my girls yesterday, and I was like, "What do you think of that?" She was like, "It was kind of hard. It was kind of hard to like transition like that. Making sure that you're in the right spots and thinking about it." And I was like, "But you guys did it. You did it, and you've never practiced it before. Never practiced it a single time, and they were so successful. First half, we were only down by like 1 point, 2 points, and second half we just got gassed. That was all that happened in the second half. We just got gassed, and then when you get tired and you play basketball, then you just start forcing things and being lazy in other areas, and so it was just everybody was just tired. That's all it just came down to. If I had my whole team, we would have demolished them.
So
we would have beat them.
How did she think that they did? I mean, was she excited that they were able to do what you asked them to and switch it up so quickly?
Yeah. I think they all saw the excitement that I had too, because I was so impressed. Because I threw it at them at the beginning, and I was like, I don't know if you guys can do this, but we're gonna try it, And if you can't, then we'll go back to something more simple. But I believed in them, and I was like, I think you guys can do this. And she thought it was really cool too. She was like, wow. She didn't think that they could do it either. She's like, it was challenging. And I'm like, you guys need to be challenged. Mm-hmm. There's too many times. I mean, one reason why I like playing this team is because we play the leagues that we play in. We're beating everybody by 40, 50 points all the time. It's too easy. We're not playing anybody who can play defense, mm-hmm. let alone score. And so I love playing hard teams. It makes everything, it challenges them. If we don't have a challenge, then I'm like, this is a wasted game. Or, we can do what we can do, but...
Right. They don't get better that way either.
No, they don't get better. And so I love when we play teams like that. I'm like, I wish... If we played in more tournaments with, playing up a little bit more, if we played in those tournaments more, they would have more experience and be able to handle it better. But, I mean, I was super impressed with them the entire weekend. So, and I didn't have my whole team. I had, a quarter... I had 3/4 of my team. I was missing a good portion. I was missing starters. So,
but they felt the encouragement from you and the confidence from you that gave them the confidence in themselves, and that's why they were able to do that. And I think that's pretty cool. And I think to be a coach and have that credibility with your kids it's hard to do, number one, but once you reach that, it's pretty amazing. because you can pretty much get them to do anything, and then they just will go forever and they'll just achieve on and on. So kudos to you for that, my dear.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, Brenda, do you have any questions for us before we sign off? Anything about coachability or maybe
experiences you've had with your own kids, you work with the D. Malay a lot, so
I have troubles with your child, so I'm sure you have troubles with him too.
But even with D. Malay, you know, she works a lot with the D. Malay, and so I'm sure that would come in pretty handy.
Yeah. Oh. If not, if you don't have anything. He's kind of a pain, but he's fun overall.
He's fun. So, exciting thing next week. I will be on my way to see you next Wednesday during our live. We'll be in the car.
1 week from today.
We're going to be together for a whole 5 days. So I'm super excited. We're going to get lots done. We're going to do lots of things together. So I'm super excited about that, and see what we can come up with.
Yeah. Just getting the guys to believe in themselves like I see in them. Hi, Hayden. I absolutely think like we see in them. Yeah. Every, when it comes to getting players, kids, and however you're involved, like getting them to believe in themselves is probably the hardest thing. But I think if you constantly are telling them like, you did this really well, but you can work on this, you know. I try to make that very, very clear. If I had one negative, you always follow it with 2 positives, kind of thing.
And I like that compliment sandwich.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was always just like, I believe in you. I believe in you. And it works a lot for coaching more than anything else. But, I mean, I don't...
Yeah, it works for everything.
It works with everything, but, like, with coaching specifically, like, I've seen the progression of, like, my girls' confidence because I'm like, I believe in you. I don't care if anybody else believes in you. Your parents could not believe in you. The other coaches could not believe in you. The other teams could not believe in you, but I do. And that's all that matters. I believe in you, and I will instill this confidence in you. And I think that if you are preaching it to them constantly, and it's a constant battle. If you constantly do that, they'll pick it up, and it takes time. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna happen within a week. It's just gonna be a slow progression. Like I've been coaching this team for 6+ months, 6 to 8 months, and they're just now starting to like have that confidence instilled in them. So it takes time.
But giving them a person, you know, even being an advisor for, you know, Rainbow, D. Malay, whatever, any kind of youth organization, to be an advisor and just give them that trust, that you have that trust in them. Give them that person that they can confide in and that they can say, you're their cheerleader, you know. And once that they feel like, oh my gosh, you know, Miss Gully is gonna, or you know, she's gonna be, yeah, sorry, she's my backbone. She's gonna cheer me on. She's gonna be, you know, be there for me when I need her. You know, it was always like that, especially like when I work with Rainbow Girls, it was the same thing. It was, you know, they knew that I had their backs whenever there was a problem. And I think as adults, that's where our roles come in for these youth, is that they just need someone to have faith in them. They need someone that they can know that, you know, isn't going to scold them, isn't going to put them down, is just going to be there for them.
I think if you know parents and how their parents are, I do a lot of watching. I'm kind of a watcher though. I like to I watch people before I like introduce myself or be friends with them. I just watch them and get their vibes. But if you know how a parent is with a kid, with their kid, then it's easier to give them what they need because you can identify, okay, this parent is really hard on them in this way. Okay, I'm going to instill confidence in the ways that, they aren't getting, whatever they're getting the negativity for, I'm going to give them the positivity in that area, and help them instill confidence in that area, because usually if you give them kind of opposite of what the parent's giving them, then it kind of just evens out and kind of boosts them a little bit more, because most time it's a constant bash in that area. I love when I get previous kids or whatever that I've mentored or been friends with or whatever, and they reach back out, and ask for help or questions or whatever. I think it's helps you to know you're making a difference.
Absolutely. So, well, good job, everybody.
I thought that was great. Thanks for joining. Thanks for interacting with us. That was awesome. Yeah, we got lots of new stuff this upcoming week. So stay tuned for everything new that's to come. We got a crazy week ahead of us, so lots of updates to come. So thanks everybody for joining. Mom, do you have anything else?
I don't. Have a great night. Go be the light in someone's life.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. Night, everybody. Night.